believe in justice.
What was that? Hey guys, hey guys, today I have Jordan again with me, and we did the Night King and Children of the Forest, and oh man, I love these looks so much. I hope you guys do too. If you guys want to see my look of the Children of the Forest, the little assholes who created these guys.
How dare you?
Well, how dare we?
I know.
We just wanted a little bit of help, and then you guys just went around and fucked everything up.
Why did I turn so mean?
Well, you're a hurtful ass bitch.
True.
I don't appreciate it. But I created you, so I might as well.
You have to own up to that shit.
I own it, and I am mad at myself for it. So if you guys want to see me do this look here, then obviously stay tuned. You guys can watch my tutorial. And if you want to go watch Jordan's video, which you should, because she'll teach you how to turn into this Night King ass bitch, go over to her channel. The link will be in the description of this video. She's so talented, so amazing. So I had expectations for this look, and this exceeds them.
Oh,
so
stop. Yours. You're the most amazing. I just love you.
Let's get off camera and make out.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's go. Oh my god, you guys, I am so excited. This is the third and final collaboration with my best friend, Jordan Hanz. If you guys have not yet checked her out, make sure you go subscribe to her channel and watch her video on how to do this amazing Night King. I love her rendition of it so much. If you guys don't know, she flew in from Massachusetts all the way across the country to Seattle to film 3 collabs with me. We have done 2 previous ones, those being Chucky and Tiffany, which I love. That one is so much fun, and it was honestly one of my favorite ones to film. And then we also did Hellraiser, or the Chatterer and Pinhead. I will have both of those videos linked at the end of this video and down below if you guys want to check them out. But today is the third and final collab, being the Night King and Children of the Forest. If you guys don't know who the Children of the Forest are, they are the creatures who created the White Walkers. Maybe they didn't mean for them to be as angry and evil as they are, but they are. So if you guys want to see my version on how to create the full costume and makeup for this look, let's get going. I started off with this army green dress. It's from H&M. I've had it for a long time. I never ended up wearing it because it was just a little frumpy on me, but it was perfect as a base color for this dress. You can start with a brown dress. You can honestly anything, because you're going to spray it. We started off with a textured spray paint that adds a really cool stone texture to the entire dress. It made it really crunchy and stiff, but if it's a Halloween costume, it doesn't really matter. Then I go over it with the camouflage color, which is sort of a army greenish brown color. And then I sort of finish off the entire dress with a matte coat of a deeper brown shade. The dress is real crunchy to the touch, but it's also moldable that way. This is the area that you don't want to copy me in, but I needed to cut the neckline out so that it was a lot deeper, and I couldn't find scissors, so I used a knife. Use scissors. Don't be like me. Then I wanted to cut the dress shorter, and so I'm sort of measuring how short I want it. Theirs is very short, and I ended up cutting mine far too short, but it doesn't really matter, let's be honest. So you see me here using the Fluker's Bend-A-Branch. These are reptile branches that you can buy. I bought a bunch of them and only ended up using 2 out of the 6 that I bought because they were just too stiff for the application. I also got this hemp with leaves on it that I will link down below. All the stuff that I bought I will link down below, but I'll end up showing you how I actually made the branches for the dress, because as you can see, it's just so stiff and looks like string and rope with the Bend-A-Branch. I didn't like it. So I ended up taking some starch and newspaper and twisting it into shapes like this. You just honestly twist after you dip it in the starch, and it will make these long tube branch-like shapes that are very vine-like, and then you let them dry overnight, and then you spray them with a matte brown spray paint, and then you've got these vine-looking branches that you can stick all over your clothes. I ended up sticking them to my clothes with a hot glue gun. I just took a little bit of hot glue and dabbed it on one area and then dabbed it on another and then glued it. You can sew them on if you want to, because it is paper and a needle and thread will go right through it, but I found that just using a hot glue gun was fine. It did end up making for a stiffer end product, which was a little uncomfortable, but I was just trying to do it to get the whole gist down for this outfit. It's not perfect, and it does kind of look like spray paint and rolled up newspaper at the end, but honestly, it doesn't really matter because to me, it was just for the final appearance. You can get starch that you can use for this at any sort of store in the laundry aisle. My mom used to do paper mache when I was a kid, and that's what she would use. She would dip newspaper in starch, so I knew it would be be a good solution to getting that stiff but still moldable texture to the branches. I just sort of crisscross them all over the top of the dress and with some hot glue, and then that is the outfit done. I also took everything outside when I was completely finished and spray painted one more coat of the camouflage color over it, and it worked perfect. Now to apply the makeup, I started off using witch hazel, which preps your skin and gets all the oils removed for the application. You don't need to use this, but I find it to be a nice skin prep. And then I wanted to cover down my eyebrows because I knew I was going to be coating those in a silicone modeling compound. I covered over my brows with the Elmer's glue stick about 3 to 4 times just to make sure that they were nice and coated and nothing was going to get stuck in them. But you don't have to worry so much if you're going to be using 3rd degree, which is the silicone, because 3rd degree comes out of hair really easily, unlike latex. 3rd degree is parts A and B, and you don't want to mix those together until you're ready to use them, because once you mix them together, you've got about 5 to 10 minutes of time to work with it until it's cured, and then it's down into a really solid shape. Right now, it's moldable and spreadable once you mix them together. I just added a little bit of the Makeup Forever Flash palette mixed in so that it has a green tint. I didn't really need to do this step because I end up painting over it in the end anyway, so it was sort of unnecessary. But what adding a tint does is it helps you to be able to see where the product is better. If you just leave it clear, sometimes it's hard to see your edges, and it's hard to see when you're digging your tool into it what shapes it's making. As you can see, I'm just spreading it all over my forehead, thicker down below. I'm looking at the reference picture of the Children of the Forest gal, and I'm seeing that she has this tree-like shape on her forehead. So I'm sort of building it up heavy to my brow, almost in a tree shape, and it starts down the bridge of my nose and goes all the way up my forehead. And then I take the end of the sculpting tool and dig in little branch shapes into the side of the 3rd degree. As you can see on the right side of my face, which looks to be on your left, I was able to get more of the branch shapes in when it was still moldable and I could sculpt out of it. I did end up waiting too long to dig out on this side, and as you can see, when I'm pushing into it, it wasn't working. So I go in with this, which is the Dermaflage, and this is in the color Chapped Lips, which is really gross when you think about it. But it's the same thing as the 3rd degree, but it's in a little syringe. So it has a mixing tip that mixes part A and B together, and you're able to inject it onto your face, which is so helpful. I was able to then inject the shape of the tree limbs onto my forehead in the areas that I wasn't able to work with the 3rd degree that I had done before. It's really helpful in getting the most fine detail shapes, and this stuff is just honestly really cool. You get a bag of mixing tips. I think there's either 50 or 100 that come in a bag, so it's really nice. Once one is used and it's all cured inside of there, you can then just toss that one away and put on a new tip, and then you are good to go for next application. I'm just sort of running this from the base all the way out into my hairline in these really thin branch-like shapes that when we paint later will add a really cool texture to the skin. Then using Pros-Aide cream, which is a thickened Pros-Aide, and that's an adhesive. It's nice because I take a little flat brush and then I run it all over the top of the 3rd degree that we had put down. Silicone itself has a very, very smooth texture and things don't like to adhere to it. So if you take a Pros-Aide cream or even Pros-Aide itself and brush it all over the top, remembering this will ruin any brush you use, so I'm just using a little crummy throwaway brush. And then once you do this, any paint you put down afterwards is going to stick much better to it. I found that to be the case with this, and so I did this when I put my cheeks on as well. You can see it goes on white and then it dries down clear. Once it's clear, you are ready to go. I did take some powder over the top, but it ends up being so much easier to paint. It's almost got a slippery texture to it when it's just the straight silicone and 3rd degree down. This can also help to smooth out any harsh or rough edges and then help to stick down any flipping up edges that you have as well. And I just love it. That jar that you see me have, I've dipped into it about 70 times this Halloween and I've made no dent. You do not need as big of a jar as I got. I'm gonna have it forever, so it's awesome. Then going in with the Fab Paint Face and Body, I start painting white over the top of the silicone on my forehead. I stop about halfway through because I realize I don't know why I'm painting white on first when I need to be going with a much deeper green tone. So using my Mehron Bruise wheel, I'm then going in with the green shade and patting it over the top. This point was sort of a moot point because I'm going to go over it again in a moment with a water activated green paint, but this was able to get a nice base that was creamy over the top of that. As you can see, I take some of those same colors mixed together on my cheeks, but again, this part was a little unnecessary. You're sort of going for like an army green color for your entire body for this. So when I am doing this, I am mixing green with brown, and that can really help to add a little less of that lime green color. Then you see me removing the paint that I had put down on my cheeks because I thought there is not enough texture on my face for this. It really wasn't enough just being on my forehead like this. So I am taking some of that green cream paint you see here and mixing it in with Third Degree, same as I did on my forehead, just so I'm able to see where I am digging into my cheeks. So I'm just sort of creating these squiggly tree-like designs on my cheek as well, similar to my forehead, and it just creates more texture for the paint when it goes on later. I'm doing that on my cheeks and down on my chin, sort of leaving underneath my eyes and my nose alone. As an artist, you see me skip around a lot. I don't tend to stick to the right order that I should be doing things in. That's just my bad. Sometimes I don't have as much of a plan going into a makeup look, and that makes the tutorial a little harder to follow if you are in fact going to follow this in any way, shape, or form. These are the children of the forest. They are like tree people, so the ultimate goal here on my cheeks is to make it look bark-like. Then going in with the Mehron Paradise AQ palette that is well loved. I'm going in with the green and light brown shades mixed together to create this army green shade, and you can see it's the perfect mixture and it creates a really good base color that will match the cream paints we'd already put down. I paint that all over my entire forehead, cheeks, and I will bring it down on my body as well later. Oh, there's Jordan. What up, Night King? Then going in with a white cream paint mixed in with a little bit of green to highlight, I'm just lightly dabbing that over the top of the areas that I want to stand out. As you can see, when I pat that over the top of the tree bark on my cheeks, it really brings out the texture. It adds the highlight over the top, which allows you to see the depth of the makeup look. I realized that my edges were a little poor here, and so I went over with a little Prosade cream, again skipping around because this is how I work, and this helped to really conceal those edges a little bit better and continue the texture up my face. You definitely should do this before you put on cream makeup though. Once that dried down, I am then patting a little bit of white with yellow mixed in to highlight my face and add more warmth. I felt like my face was getting a little too cool toned and it wasn't quite giving the bright mossy green that I was going for. Then taking a little bit of black brown mixed together, I'm just sort of filling in the areas that I want to deepen. So obviously underneath the trunk of where the tree would be on my forehead, and then blending it upwards and back. This entire time I'm looking at a reference photo of the gal from Game of Thrones, but it really just helps me to create the look that I'm going for, especially since I was going off of one of their faces. Is it perfect? No. Does it get the job done? Yep. As you can see, I'm sort of taking and I'm patting and adding modeling texture to the areas of the skin around that tree trunk texture, and then going in with some blacks and browns to really shade those areas, which we will go over later with highlight colors to make it really stand out. But right now, adding the depth onto my face. I then run some black eyeshadow up around my hairline and over my eyes as well to deepen those up. And then taking a sponge and ripping little holes into it. You'll see this used a lot when creating a Bruise texture. It's just one of those little flat stipple sponges that you can get, and you rip up the end of it and then it creates these little holes and you can create veining and capillaries, and for me I'm just adding texture to my skin. So for this I'm going in with some white, then I'm going in with darker green, then I'm going in with a little bit of a lighter green, and then I go over it with white again. And layering is going to be your best friend in adding a really cool skin texture, but you're going to want to continue this everywhere, so up onto the forehead, and then later on we're going to want to take this also down the chest. And then I'm also taking some black eyeliner and running it on my waterlines and throwing on a bit of mascara. As you can see, I put my hair up, and I just did that with a bunch of bobby pins, and I just sort of piled it on top of my head, braided some areas, twisted them back. You can look at the reference photo of them and just sort of see. I didn't want to wear a wig for this because I didn't want it to look super fake, so I just used my own hair. I liked to paint the front of my hair as well to make it blend back so it wasn't this harsh line between the warm brown of my hair and the cool toned green on my skin. I then put a bit of moss and some trees and twigs and things like that into my hair, which can help it to look more foresty. I then wanted to paint my chest and neck all the way down my arms and everywhere that I need my body to be. So with a large flat kabuki style brush, I am painting that all over my body. Make sure to get your ears too, because those are included. The stippling motion is also going to be your best friend down on your body to add the texture. You can take some 3rd degree down on your body as well if you want, but for me it was unnecessary. I didn't need it because I knew my outfit was going to draw that all together in the end anyway. Then to highlight so that the face and body match, I took a white body paint, and that was one of the Fab body paints, and I am stippling that all over my arms, around the areas that are going to be highlighted on my chest, like my collarbones and my shoulder blades. And as you can see, it adds this really neat texture if you just press it right into the skin, which then matches a lot more to the face. I then took a black liquid lipstick, this is the Kat Von D Witches liquid lipstick, and sort of ran it along the inner center portion of my mouth so that it gave that kind of sinister look as well. I do put a little bit more of this on a little bit later, but it helps me to tie it all in together. I'm going to move on to a really cool step that adds a really nice tree-like appearance, which is using yarn. As you can see, I am taking this medium-sized brown yarn and I am sort of fraying a piece of it apart. And this is a trick that I did for my White Witch back for Face Awards days. You guys remember that? Oh my god. And you take it and you fray the end of it and then leave the other portion of it straight. And then when you pull it back, it looks like a real tree trunk or branch or something coming out of your forehead. So I take that and I do about 5 or 6 of these across the entire width of the top of my face, and it adds just the coolest branch-like texture that really ends up tying the entire look together and making it look real and cohesive, as if my face is truly growing back over my hair. I'm gluing these down with Pros-Aid along my hairline. You can use spirit gum or anything tacky. And once I get these all glued down to my forehead, I sort of intertwine the remaining strings in with my hair, and then I paint over them with the same colors that I had used on my face, neck, and chest, which I don't show, but it's a given. You just sort of pat it over the top and you are good to go. I then tossed in a pair of contact lenses and throw on a pair of lashes and my costume, and that is pretty much it for this entire look. It was so fun to create, and I really love the way that it turned out. I used a couple of different techniques that I hadn't done this year for Halloween, using the 3rd degree, making the costume completely from scratch myself. Is it perfect? No, but again, it gets the job done. This would be the perfect couple's costume if you wanted to be the Night King and Children of the Forest. For me, not a lot of people know who the Children of the Forest are, but being a huge Game of Thrones fan myself, of course, they created everything. They started this whole, fuck you, Children of the Forest. For the armbands that you see me wearing for my costume, they are actually a pair of socks, and you just kind of cut them horizontally, and it creates these little armbands, which is really nice. You can just kind of slide them on and off, and it's perfect. My legs, we actually spray painted some tights, which I will add some clips in here, some snaps of when Jordan and I were doing this. Yes, Kristi loves you. She's spray painting her legs. The lengths we go to please you people, if we didn't know.
Okay, this one sucks a bit.
You know what, guys? The shit we do for you. Spray paint. Asked Jordan if she wanted me to do her back. She thought it was completely done. Turn around.
I got it, right?
Texturized, bro.
I'm getting your real texture, bro.
Texturized me, bro.
Getting your little double fisting texture.
Oh, texturized my vagina. Oh! But we spray painted some tights, and we spray painted them on our legs. I wouldn't recommend this. I had spray paint on my legs for about 2 weeks after this. Either get a green pair of tights or a blue pair of tights, or spray paint some as well. Why do we do it on our bodies? Because we're stupid. All right, and that is it. I hope you guys love these makeup looks. I am so sad that this is my final collab with Jordan, but I'm also so excited that you guys now see all 3 of them. We worked our asses off for literally like 5 days straight on these videos. I hope you guys love them as much as I do. It was such dedication for her to fly all the way here for these, but all of the videos I am so proud of and I love so much. And definitely go subscribe to Jordan's channel if you have not yet. You guys have seen our other videos together. I'm sure you guys have already subscribed to her, but if you have not, her talent is unbelievable. She does this stuff all year round. It's just so satisfying to watch. She's an amazing artist, and I know you guys will love her. And she's also Jordan Hanz, or Jordan Hanz. So there you go, Jordan. I had to add it into one of these videos, and I love you with all my heart. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This may be my last Halloween video. I'm not 100% sure yet, but if it is, thank you guys so much for all of the love so far this Halloween. It has been amazing. You guys have seriously made this the funnest month for me. It has been a lot of work, and if you guys have not yet, make sure to check out my Halloween playlist. I have uploaded a ton of videos this month, all with pretty intense intros, and I hope you guys love them. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and again, subscribe if you have not yet. Thank you guys so much for 200,000 subscribers, by the way. I can't believe I finally hit this goal. Oh my god, it felt like yesterday that I just hit 100,000 subscribers. To have now 200,000 people watching is insane to me, and I thank you guys so much. Here's to the next 100,000, and I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at my next video. Bye! So you can take your face off. Are you done?
I'm done, I think.
Can I feel your face?
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt, Jordan. I don't really want to do this.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I look like that guy from Jurassic Park.
Oh!
Not that guy, the dinosaur.
Dinosaur. That